trend across the globe is an increase in disputes. This creates an increasing challenge to taxpayers, how to address them effectively and how to manage them, and preferably how to prevent them. Some of the recent trends and developments are around transfer pricing, which is increasingly on the radar of the revenue authorities due to the international cooperation between tax authorities, the OECD BEPS initiative. Another trend is the increased use of artificial intelligence by tax authorities, the use of digital data that are stored on the internet, but also on their databases, which become more and more sophisticated. And the third trend is that across the board, tax authorities are investing in expanding their capabilities on the audit and revenue collection side. Common triggers that lead to tax disputes are actually on the tax authority side. The issue that tax authorities often focus on a limited set of facts, not taking into account all facts and circumstances that are relevant, which leads to a dispute. On the other side, taxpayers often have issues in gathering the facts that are relevant to them because sometimes the data is no longer available. Or the people that were involved, for instance, in a certain transaction that happened at the time and is under inquiry, have left the firm. The first one is access to data, being able to get convincing data in front of tax authorities to demonstrate a certain fact or a certain tax consequences arising from the facts. And the other one is a stretch on the company itself in terms of time-consuming inquiries. Teams are already overstretched. And in addition to that, sometimes financial issues, uncertainty in a balance sheet position, as well as sometimes, even though tax issues are under dispute, taxes still have to be paid while the matter is under review. I think what you see in practice is that the burden of evidence is really important. So having a well-documented position on the areas that are known to be sensitive is really important. One of the biggest issues in practice is being surprised by a certain discussion and having to scramble for a good factual underpin of the matter. And connected to that is a good overview of sensitive matters. Being able to spot them, not being surprised by them. And the third one, especially if we are talking about cross-border tax disputes, is being connected and being consistent in how to address these issues globally, ensuring that if in a certain subsidiary, if you're talking about a multinational, a discussion arises, that the people that are responsible for handling that matter are fully in the loop, are kept abreast of what is happening and can step in as necessary. The upside is a better position for the future on defending their position to be more sustainable if the matter is recurrent, for instance. I think another positive thing is that lessons learned from the journey can be translated into management actions to better be prepared for the future. Some of the best practices that companies have, or taxpayers in general have, to prevent tax disputes are around cooperation with tax authorities. There are more and more tax authorities that encourage regimes of cooperative compliance. There is the opportunity when we are speaking about transfer pricing to conclude advanced pricing agreements between states. And data and document mapping and retention policies, I think, are very important to the extent that information cannot be stored in contracts, recording real-time behavior through interviews, for instance, and storing that information within the company are things that lead to a best practice and a better defense position should an audit happen and should the audit turn into a dispute. KPMG is a global organization that comprises both tax and legal services. And the cooperation between these lies the strength and where KPMG can help. Because sometimes addressing a tax matter really requires expertise both in the field of tax litigation, addressing matters in court, as well as the substantive tax matter. So imagine tax authorities going after you as a taxpayer and continuously asking questions. Well, you need good advice in country explaining, for instance, what public law prescribes and what the limitations are in the process. On the other hand, if you're only focusing on litigation and on procedures, that can also be risky because in the end the matter is decided on the merits of the substantive matter. So really bringing the two together at a global scale is what KPMG does, and that's also where our added value to clients lies. Well, what differentiates us is that we can help both on the legal side and on the tax side of the matter, both the procedure and the substance of the matter. And the fact that we have a global network, we're present in most jurisdictions, and that creates the opportunity to provide a consistent service throughout jurisdictions for clients that require that.